Industry. Previously, war. Now, peace. Time for production resumes. An extensive conquering slog. We have secured a new frontier. And on this land, we'll build. Peace, as the sort of peace that you get where, yeah, every so often a few dozen lasers need to fire up and maintain the integrity of the wall. So for now, let's head back into the comfort of the plant. Take care of some things. Some things perhaps long neglected. Let's see here. Regarding this, that is actually nearly far enough up and not worry about the bus. Just a slight adjustment. Like move this over a smidge. Or I can just tunnel the bus under it. I mean, it's the railway assembler. Rack machine is very important. We have work to do. Resources to tap. Capabilities to implement. Where for one, here I'm just gonna tear down this temporary module machine. Produced a healthy supply of tier 1 modules. Cut off that feed. And a thing we're gonna do to open up the festivities, that it's time to re-establish the science. Learning will resume. For which I want to drag all of these out of the way. And furthermore, for which there's plenty about the science machine that isn't actually going to need to be switched on because we have an outlandish backlog of red and green. So while I will allocate the space that I would use to produce red and green nearby, we'll not have to produce it for quite some time. Gotta get that kicked off. A gear machine here, which would receive iron, output gear onto a belt that would also receive a healthy dose of copper. Or wait, no, I want the copper on the near side. Come here. And again, we'll establish the material feeds. Just not activate the appropriate machinery. Leave it idle. And then underneath this, you know, you'd have a red and however many more, the usual ratio. Your 10, 12, 24. Good bots. And so immediately across from that, extending 2 farther down, but otherwise starting at the same spot, you'd have your green machines. And a short ways behind them, your conveyor belt and arm making devices. For which, let's see here, I can set them up as a column. Their gears happen down there. Regular belt happens over here. Then arm occurs there. And this belt here would be composed of a combination metal plate and circuit. Would just have this gear machine throw its product directly into its 2 adjacent friend devices. Again, there's many other ways one could choose to implement this, and plenty of reasons one would follow in doing so. However, this is a machine I might not even have to start for many, many, many hours. And by the time I do, I'll have all sorts of other supporting, you know, science gizmos. Yeah, that one wasn't load bearing in any way. Yes, and so those all come together onto this, our traditional old-time red-green belt. Will then feed off this way. And laboratories would be thrown down somewhere in that vicinity. Which I should have several in storage. They've been cast in there by the death of the old lab complex. Bring them out. Give me everything you got, robots. Every last science machine, render unto me. Such helpful bots. So hey, listen to them batteries churn. The acid is on, for now. Well, network, do I have labs or not? I should. I used to. We made them once. Ages ago. Just head over to my little magic lamp here. Inventory light. Tell me. Are there labs? No? What happened to my labs? Should be somewhere. Were they crushed? Are they outside the grid? Ghost labs. Maybe in a normal box, but no, that would be terribly implausible because I tore down the labs with my robots. They'd be in storage. Wouldn't they? Okay, they've already arrived. Never mind. Perhaps they were just in the swarm. By the way, we will also need more labs. 6 is worthless. 16, that's a number of labs. 32, 64, you know, good, powerful numbers. Now, why would I bother making them by hand? Not using this thing for green. $32 for now. That'll make a fine complex. That doesn't even have to be a tunnel anymore. It can just be. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong tunnel entirely. Or, actually it is... No, yeah, it's the right tunnel, I just didn't finish repurposing the other end of it that is no longer needed. Alright then. Laboratories. And for the moment, just as a proxy, is this even inside? Not in logistic range. Do I have a port? Not on hand. I feel like I may have made a port maker though. A hive engine? It's not in here somewhere. The materials all are. Ah, there it is. Perfect. Take 5 Bs and be on my way. And with that, I can go ahead and pick up this thing for temporary solar bit distribution. And we're in the network. We're using our stored parts. Strange feeling. There's so long afield. An eternity at war. Then I'll need to bring the red and the battery over here. They are participants in the blue machine. These first wave requesters that I had set up. Flip them over to provide and facilitate some of the transportation myself, just with legwork. While we're here, our many thousands of science. Festive. Oh, I don't have plate itself feeding into the belt machine. There we go. Much better. set up the starter labs on the other side of this gravel input. Alternatively, I suppose I'm thinking of putting the labs immediately after those, just because the usual flow of things is that you set up your red into your green and have a lab complex going for a while, and implement blue later, so it ends up coming in from the other side. But really, I could just as well set up my blue right here in this column. Where, yes, the blue is 3 materials to bring in off the belt, and then 1 locally assembled good made of common materials. Where, yes, I can even, particularly since I am going to be not running the green machine for a while, I can just leech off of that existing arm machine to make feed arm and filter arm. Where, yeah, plate and chips, and then just chips, and then just arm. That's one of the 4 blue materials. Not one of the ones that's actually difficult, but still. One of. Wait. I don't need to do all this kludgery with patching the, like, disconnecting the arms themselves. I can use technology. Do not permit the building of a single beaker until that box is empty. There, now I can just power up the whole thing. And it just won't do anything until I need it to. And likewise, over here, and just say, don't make any gears till that box is out of red. Excellent. Technology. there we go. Missing a pass-through on the gear machine. This is temporary. This is a one-time thing. Very long time spanning one-time thing because they're moving tens of thousands of objects, but once it's done, it will be done. And there's my 32 labs. Right, that's the thing I wanted to adjust. Set it to nothing. Someday, I may need you again. For now, this is probably as many laboratories as I want. Anyway, snip that out. And let's see, so I have a supply of purple arm. And need to bring in red, steel, and battery. The gravel belt just feels increasingly in the way, despite its importance. Battery will be less scarce once I create a persistent hookup to the new oil field. I vanned over a couple, scads of barrels initially, but we don't have a long-term supply solution there yet. We will, though, since now we have security and railway blueprints. Speaking of which, I'll need to set up signal assemblers. Signal and station, those can all go up there in that nonsense. It contains the right mixes. Question is, where will I put machines themselves? Because, let's see. Take the steel off here. If plastic needs to end up somewhere, there it is. And then I need to assemble a combination of these. Feed that down. Good. And good. All working as designed. This yet unused bus lane, this is for blue. The circuit kind, once we have a thing for that. Alright, we have our 4 ingredients from which blue research occurs. And we'll want to relocate the orb vault to be more convenient of all of this. Both for direct use in science and also a little farther down here, once we migrate the solar out into, you know, one of the victory fields here. We're also going to be setting up our module machine. The top level modules are made of orb. As if I'd planned it this way all along. Oh, hold on. No, still not good. There. I will redirect the gravel. To where? Such is the question. Well, let's see. First of all, figure these for blue. And then just sort of know that I want a matching set of them on the other side. How large does that need to be? Right out here. Soon the shenanigans. And that means I'll just have to bring the gravel out to around here in order to sneak by comfortably. Or hold on. I'm okay with leaving this final connection point. That gravel will then just have to hop underneath the science belts. Good work, robots. Alright, so machinery. Consider hooking me up with belt. If I run down the local red. There are some things I can throw back into junk for a moment. I don't think I'm going to use active provider for much. Those, yeah, I can just cancel. Get out of here. Free up some automation. Hello. Part of the design was overlooked. Some of these fellas never got their cable. And others never got their other product. Your arms are backwards, huh? Machine not even fully engaged. Right, that's the problem. A bunch of these got copied off of the arms that were feeding out of the wire machines. Just pile on a nice jumbled mess. Well, as everything has a blue and a green, they will, or a red, they will produce. There, all the wheels are turning. Oh yes, another consideration, since we have security and with it sprawl in which to implement more power. No productivity these gears. I like the thought of dragging out our materials as far as possible. And also in anticipation of needing to do yet more making of things. Advanced belt demands very high volumes of gear. Positively outlandish. Alright. Here is some blue. Do I need it on a side of a belt? And then I will need to establish proper orb distributor and have that snake its way in here as well. And then all of these jovial fellows, they go to the labs. Right, reestablish grapple feed. I could just as well shove them in all in one column here. Or allow the second column to provide power. Or just increase the density of wire. Always use more wire. Close enough. There's enough clearance that I can sneak these in, even with that solar grid in the way. Or I have tunnel. I have an unending supply of red tunnel. Or wait, no, that's not where I was striking these. Science! Alright, so in the name of further technological escalation, need the lab blueprint again. Take my happy solar block. A quartet of them. And then I will use that to get all of these migrated out to somewhere else. But where? Pondering that, I can go ahead and what, is there a limit to how many wire can fall out of this thing? Alright, where is the wall under enough attack to take damage? The kind of news I would like. That's the kind of site where we need to establish an active maintenance crew. Anyway, another further thing I can do. One may recall that the formula for assembling machines and the formula for drills, same stuff that goes into arms. So I can establish new makers of those just right here at varying degrees of efficiency. particular, furthermore, we'll be able to escalate pretty elegantly to Assembler 3 there as well. Since off of this mix, I can create basic speed modules. Alright, bring out all the assembler 2s. Got a bunch in storage from the old machine. And likewise, I've brought the surface area to this thing. Bring these out as well. Preferably not out of those damn it, robots. Alright, hold on. I will prevent this. Temporary aberration. There, that'll make sure that they drag them out of the old storage system. Yeah, there you are. All the classics. Oh yes, if I had a handful of copper wire, I can manually attach power poles to each other for power distribution. It's a little used feature. Only comes up most of the time if you're trying to like build little intricate electricity handling systems. Like if you're trying to create grids that have like limited access to each other, and surge projectors, or otherwise isolate power from one machine to another, perhaps controlled by a conditional switch. Fine helping the blue machines. And I'm not feeling particularly elegant with this. Adequacy will suffice. It will function. Wait, actually. This requires further adjustment. That'll just go ahead and give this a bit of a boost up. Get myself a representative sample here. In doing so, sure, get these to self-replicate. So, the assembler type 3 See, side-to-side comparison there. The usual more power draw, more passive power drain, more pollution generated. However, that speed gain. The assembler Type 3 is faster than your hands at baseline. Also, check this. Check this 4 module slots. That's a lot of modules. You can put all kinds of numbers in this thing. It'll just go. And another thing, for example, if I pile 3 efficiency 1s into there, down to 41 kilowatts, which I believe, yeah, that is less power than a basic assembler. So if you're feeling particularly energy constrained, you can have these running at ridiculous speed and very low operational cost. Also, furthermore, a limitation of the blue assembler that hasn't come up yet, because there's very few cases that it applies to. A blue assembler can handle up to 4 ingredient recipes. The yellow assembler can handle any recipe, which mostly the only thing that would cut you off from his oil refinery is a 5-part mixture. We can now auto-produce oil refineries, should we need them. Where that involves a lot of stuff that's in this mess and also bricks. I'm out of steel? And out of iron. Ah, I need to reactivate the iron ore train. Yes, we finally bled down our old internal supply. And some of these arms are backwards. One of these arms was backwards. Alright, let's get the train running then. Where, I guess, instead of running these, switch this down to regular old ordinary stupid boxes. And then let's see, how am I going to unload these? They mix into the other stuff. But the robots themselves are having trouble finding space. Adorable. Well, for now, unload the train. And yeah, its programming is still there, and the connection is still good. Just go back to work. Temporary solutions. That'll do. Yeah, furthermore, there's still some traces of iron inside of the old border that I might try to tap conventionally. Maybe not. Maybe this is more, yeah, the final opportunity to get clean of where is this damage. Did not get a chance to catch where that was happening. Probably out there, where there's less gun. My temporary refinery. Basic material requirements remain met. Into this thing. Robots, please remain calm. Alright, so signals. Signals and stations. Some amount of those built. And the best place to do those is here? Yes, I can jump these plates out of here. And do I have steel anywhere near here? Nominally steel running down that line. Oh, wait, steel over there from the bullets. Yes. All requirements met. Every aspect of this design. Good, fine, well ordered. Nothing wrong. We get the two flavors of signal that need to be made. And then stations themselves involve that mix plus a smidge of steel. Slide that in over here. Or not. Jump these through. Feeling fine. So all of these have a purpose. Well, stops, obviously, but both of these managed to get about understanding what both of these are for and their roles in properly regulating automated rail travel. Where a core bit of what was throwing me off with earlier applications of them is, if you're going to use them, you have to commit to using a lot of them. Like, a lot of them. No, this is purple research. It's not even moving forward right now. Relocate the orb vault. Or I could also abandon this project, because the progress on it will be saved properly. And wander off and grab something else instead. Yeah, get the beacon. Science. And yeah, get all the level 2 modules swept up. Alright, final point for orb distribution. Appropriately secure. Or at least for the beakers. Some of the orb. And let's see, furthermore... Alright, I could get the first generation in here by more direct manipulation. Or do this. Set up the old very loud requester. New orb fortress can go here. Alright, the new vault. Coming soon. And, alright, yeah, now the purple is flowing again. Finish that turret damage. Alright, there will be further work for the orb vault. Gravel's slowing down. Almost out of rocks? Well, no, probably not out. Just... Well, actually, we had a backlog because we spent a while not using many rocks. And I remedied that. I restored demand for rocks. Get all the top level modules, because that's the next fancy thingamajig that we want to have built. The whole reason we're establishing this vault. On the way to doing that, we will establish blue chip. Now then, I'll just drive in the orbs. Prepare to decommission the old vault. Having our good and dutiful Roberts just airlift all of the existing orbs. Off to their new home. And only after the facility has been vacated completely of precious science materials will we disassemble Vault Classic. And that was something to do while we waited for the signals to start getting made. Got a stack of each to start with. So, things to do. Solar grid's moving out of the way. Throw a bunch of that over here. We'll go set up radar on the first wave of the wall. The orbs are secure. And we can just go ahead and... Actually, I don't need to use cable for this. I can use the logistic network itself. Not load purple unless there is no purple in the network. Right, actually, there. Rip the cable off of you so that we prevent that from occurring. There. So, okay, the vault is not connected to the main net yet. Remedy that. There. The vault is now online. These walls are just barely out of the network themselves. Let me just quickly... Not you guys. Just grab a spare page. Just grab a picture of a RoboPort. And... yeah, drop it right there. It puts them into storage. Being made, and when they are made, they are put into the grid. Actually, no, we have to... cannot risk this being replicated by the enemy. There. Let's go do some railway things. One of these drills is offline. Two of these drills are offline. Remainder churn away quite reasonably. Railway things and power grid things. Where, let's see. Copper there, some coal there. Set these up. Yeah, a bit of iron there. So that they aren't in the way of where I will want to put railway stations for things later. Take the old war wires and replace them with shiny new peace wires. And this will be much easier once I start piling on more robot. Oh, with the handful of blue I have on me. Just batteries away. Could magnify a personal robot storage. Need to skim battery. Reasonable amount of it at 45 each. And down here. A little bit up on the belt. There's one. And good, I had a box. Box kept in reserve for just such an occasion. Quite something further I can do. Science is an intermediate product. Or intermediate, whatever the word is. Between not a finished good, an ingredient. And apply purple to it. There. We will now get 8% more science for each bit of valuable material that manages to sneak through. Fair use of purple. So I must be careful now, because having removed all of my shield, this is now very much not a combat suit. Remember to reinstall one or more shields if I ever choose to enter battle again. By the time I have to fight again, I will hopefully have the yet larger suit. There's a lot of power draw now. Alright, temporary. There. Now! Glory to the new birds. Have all of these down. Yes? Nice. I could set up another piece array here. And that's as many as I'm carrying material for right now. I'll then have to go back into the base and start disassembling the existing ones in order to migrate them out. Radar up there, radar at the corner. Alright, damage is happening out here by the oil field. That is entirely expected, since that is the part of the barricade that is deepest in the smog. Radar has since then discovered a small lake there. The next wave of conquest will probably be this, just claiming that sand. That's a ways off. There, well, quickly growing augmented with a shiny new early warning system. I'd missed a spot in the barrier. Left a few orphaned orbs. And one more by the oil field itself. Alright, we have eyes on the entire perimeter. There were some bits of this left to install. Next level lumber harvesting machines. Alright, let's build the train station. I did not bring any rail. Let's go back inside. Well, everything's inside now. Then the inventory a smidge. Right, I was also going to sneak in a drill machine over here. Just get this out of the way. Or closer to it. It's a very hungry machine. In fact, I'm not going to use too many of these for a while, so set the cap even lower. And there, I can just sneak in between these. A drill maker. Very good. If I have any others in the network left over from old projects, just haul them in there now. 15 on the way from somewhere. Very good. Tiny locomotive. Yeah, I need a tiny locomotive. Tiny freight car. I already have a healthy pile of freight car. Now I have a larger pile of freight car. Good. I have my cubes, so I'll be able to run the train. Tear down the old walls. It's safe here now. You only need the one very big, very far away wall. Damaged bit. Fix that. Then throw it in the pile. Alright, so it's time to enhance some of our little bits of railway that have been created. All these blueprints and put them into other, more powerful forms. Starters, just set ourselves up over here. Have a nice open canvas to work with. There's U-turn, but with signals on it. Right away, but with signals on it. Make sure, yeah, that's all lined up right. And then the big one. Well, let me tear this down. I don't need this here. The big one. Four-way intersection, but with signals on it. And with this, we'll get to encounter the important bits. And yeah, we can see all the bits that are available to mount a signal onto. So, what's important here? Start by applying a layer of regular signals. Now that we have the perimeter wall, I can go back to just operating at a leisurely, laid-back pace. Because we're doing right-handed, two-lane rail. So, for example, off of this side, you come in from this way, and can turn right to go out there, go straight through, or turn left on one of these to head out that way, and then repeat from each direction, rotated. And what signals are for is if there were a train like this one sitting here in the area of rail in front of the signal, it turns red and lets another train approaching from here know to just stop, wait. It will not move forward until this block, defined as the space from this signal to the next signal it can see, is empty. So, for example, if I then have another signal here, the space beyond here is good to go. That train could carry on its merry way, and so forth. However, the problem emerges. To illustrate here. Suppose this were not just the engine, but in fact a train possessed of many cars. Like, when you're doing good, heavy freight rail, you'll have like 3 or 4 car trains for hauling bulk goods. So if this were coming into this intersection, and saw this signal, and there was a problem up here, and it had to stop, it would stop. Right here, and settle into place, just clogging the entire intersection, when really you should have waited back here, because all of this space inside here, none of it's big enough to fit the entire train. Can my robots pull a train off the rails? Apparently not. Not to portage. Fortunately, you have a tool to deal with this. So just put that back there. That is what the chain signal is for. This little fellow, indicated by just the little light here, it operates like a normal signal, except, in addition, it also looks forward and checks what the next signal down the line has to say. And if this one says stop, it will repeat that stop signal. We'll just go ahead and illustrate. Let me just attach a bit of dummy line here. Throw down a train. Yep, there's a train here, so this says no. This says no. No, don't. And so the general practice is, anytime that you have rails crossing other rails, or otherwise creating situations where trains would snarl up and be in each other's way, you pile on chain signals in front of all of the places where there could be problems, and then slap a regular signal at the end when things go back to normal. So the most simple way I could wire this thing up is by having a regular signal on each path out of it, and a chain signal on each path into it, which would then create the I believe what that would do is create the situation where only one train would be in this intersection for any reason at a time. which naturally that's less powerful than the intersection could be with a more intricate system of lights. Alright, so let me just... Or no, it is properly reading directionality on these. And understands that it's only in some of the ways. Alright, so this is actually perhaps okay at doing what it will need to on its own. Just anywhere where we have to do something like this, or like when we add an exit off the side of the rails, and we'll have like a rail going up one side to be the entrance and going up the other side to be the exit. You just wrap all the ugly, complicated bits in chain signal to just let trains know that no, don't get in here. This is nonsense. Steer clear. There we go. Four-way intersection. But with signal. And doing that is kind of the core of how you make building a railway tolerable while still having all that smart functionality. Just put it in blueprints. Just create standard straightaway, maybe standard diagonal straightaway if you want to be more fancy about how you're laying things out. And design, like, intersections, junctions, stations. Just do each of those once, and then never again. As long as you can make one of them work, just copy and paste it, and the rest of them will work out fine. Until you discover you made some horrible mistake in the original layout, and now there's 10,000 of these things that are all slightly wrong and ruining everything. That's the factory experience. Oh, just gonna clear up some space, and then we will build oil barreling station. Need something to do with this wood. Get in there. We'll find a use. Also, furthermore, there's a little bit of copper there. That has a use. And also, if you're building more fancy, high-tech infrastructure systems, you can take your repeatable rail blueprint and add in, like, regular roboports, or lighting and signaling systems, or built-in solar power that's just running along at appropriate ratio next to the rail. You can do all kinds of things, since you only have to do them once. And perfect. It's coincidentally at the right position. Alright, so I want a straight section. Oil handling trains will only need to be one car for quite some time. A full freight car of oil is a lot of oil. Oh yeah, throw a station there. All engine and car. Stretch cubes. And then we get to sorting out how exactly we want to move this. How many barrels did I bring out here? A couple hundred were left over. Alright, so core functions that we need for the train station. Train goes in, train goes out, and potentially, if you're going to run more than one train through the same station, a good, polite practice to do is leave enough space in some way behind your stop for 2 or 3 more, or some number of additional train to just park here inside of this bit off of the main line. So, take a regular signal, throw it back here. And one up here. Let me just look at the spacing. Yeah, that's room for another one, and probably that will do. Alright, so then we want to break out of here and have had broken into here. And there we'll have room to store another train on the turn itself. Alright, so we have curves there. Let me get my straight line. Tentatively throw it there. Again, per earlier vague remarks, good general principle is to just leave yourself additional space. If you're not sure how much room you'll need to implement something, just leave extra. For example, I did not leave enough room to curve back, at least not all the way. Not from a 90 degree, but I can do more with that as well. Also leave that, because from here, then curve out to go left. And there. Now I could exit going in either direction on this line. Although the same problem emerges there. Grab this, start again. Move it a little bit farther out. Also, if the rail signal has been placed somewhere that doesn't make any goddamn sense, it will just start to blink in distress until someone attends to it. Wait, actually. Yeah, there's the rationale that I need. Yeah, S-curve. S-curve in, S-curve out. Straightaway is wide enough to fit everything else inside. It's a good thing I brought the extra roboports. Speeds this all up quite nicely. Right, so that's getting in and out on the right lane. Also want to be able to exit to the left there. I want to be able to have entered from the left there. All the connections we need. Now to signal. And again, regulars on the outlets of the complicated bits. So actually that's conveniently already where it needs to be, so let's snip that. Then chain anywhere that idling a train would cause problems. Or like a chain there. Or there's enough space for another parking here, so chain there. Chain in here. Chain over here. Yes, that would cause a train here or here to prevent anyone from getting into this. And yeah, regular there, chain there, good. Chain back here. Chain here. Alright, that should function. I've now also positioned it so that it kind of steps on this coal. But that can be worked with if I ever decide to dig in here. Like, a drill positioned here would be able to reach onto the rail, and then likewise one over here. So that's not bad. And you can see the blue there indicating one of these ways is not good, but the other is fine. And now, having done that, grab all of this. Leave out these extraneous bits. And actually I need to take this a little farther. I didn't quite grab that signal there. Leave that one actually. This one. But these two are in reach of each other, I think. Let me contemplate the wiring here. Remove that. That cuts. It cuts connection to these machines. Alright, that works. Reaches the rail, that powers the oil barrelers. There. This is... This is an oil station. Yeah, there we go. And I'll never have to design that again. And now we go. Where, let's see, we're gonna run over that hybrid patch there, but again, we've left enough space inside of these rails that we could sneak mining infrastructure into it pretty reasonably. Not a big concern. And there's enough space there that I can sneak up on the west side of this iron. Hop out and align it properly. It also occurred to me that I could further augment this, or easily go about designing other more capable intersections, since the shortfall of this, as it currently stands, is that you can't perform a U-turn using it. You can go in a side and out any other side, but not turn around. I could augment that, some sort of future higher version, by integrating a couple rotations of this. Or otherwise using this as a foundation from which to build a roundabout. Wait, robot speed 4? Yes, absolutely. No more getting left behind. So coming up to this old wall, we've reached the south end of the refinery. And it sort of presents a better spot to do oil drop-off. I mean, like, if we clear out these trees, eyeballing it, just comparing, we have this relatively tight space here, although that also opens up once we take out the old wall. Maybe make a corner, and then head up this way. Then that'll also be a nice comfortable distance to frame where we're going to have an ore unloading station up here. A big proper one spanning all of this little baby iron ore shipping loop. I already put a whole bunch of refinery into the current version of the complex. And now I can, like, yeah, have enough space behind here that I could double up on this column by just having a bunch facing the other direction, offset a bit. Out with you, old Ford. Okay, we're at a bit of a conundrum. Except not actually, because I can just put more material to work. That's alignment for that bit. I want the rest of it over... Right here, let me pick this up. That's not enough. We take this box and temporarily cannot put the boxes out of my own head now. There. Relax, Roberts. Yeah, just slip that here for now. There's enough space here for a corner, even before landfilling. Alright, I'll be back for those balls at some point. And yeah, you can see here signals that have become terribly confused because they got injected into the middle of that intersection where nothing makes sense. Now, what we have here can feasibly run very, very many trains. More a matter of how many rail lines I want to have cooperate. Because kind of great thing about trains, because they move so fast, they will spend most of their time at their destinations rather than on this main line, in the grand scheme of things. If they're on the line, it's because they're moving somewhere very quickly. They only have to stop when they're loading and unloading, or if somebody else causes a problem for them. Look, see, we've already reached the old refinery. Good stuff. Hey, there's Tank! Get it out of the way. Oh. Wrong object. And let's see. Throw an intersection here. What a beautiful coincidence. What design that this high-density four-way is exactly one large power pole width. I don't think I planned for that when I set it up. I just made the corners as tight as reasonable and then let everything else take its course. Downright serendipitous. Alright, so then now I have my chance to rebuild this oil station into something proper. For the unloading. Leave the actual station post there for now, just to preserve the name of it for scheduling. But I'm gonna realign everything about how this is set up. So, like, first and foremost, use my other station as a baseline, because, hey, this is the shape of a thing that I need. Of regular line ducking out into a space where we put, like, one oil thing. Be approached from either direction and exited likewise. I could set it up like this. And also, conveniently, I don't need to worry about all of this necessarily. I can always clean up any extraneous bits that aren't needed. Like that. No further rail beyond that direction. This is just an end of the line. In fact, because of that, I don't even need all of this. There's no passing through and carrying on. Ah, bullets. Historic bullets. Put a touch up. And we are out of regular signal. To build a larger supply of those. Alright, arms are all behaving themselves. It's an appropriate opposite version of the other machines. I don't actually need this bit because I'm going to hook those to these. That I can unbarrel them in the larger array of assemblers. Oh wait, I'm looking at these backwards. The arms are waiting expectantly to receive material. But that might not behave right. This'll do. Let's just get weird. Sometimes you just need to arbitrarily reverse direction. And you can just copy and paste the names of train stations, and the way they're stored in the schedules means that the engines will update accordingly. So I can dispose of this, this. I also want to promptly set up a fuel receiving cube here. Make it a logistic requester. This will end up in the botnet eventually. Alright, we have a station ready to load empty barrels and receive full barrels. Install my intersection. Alright, and now back this up. Right, there's some signals that became confused because they're now trapped inside the intersection. Take those home. Up. Hang a right. Here I am. I can start to automate this thing. Go to refinery until you have 200 empties. Or you know what? Till you're full of empties. Then head on out to the Victory Oil until you're full of full barrel. I will switch over to the slow but simple. Until barrel is barrel, yes. Until truth. Philosophy of train. Alright, oil's in motion. Oh, I haven't created a link between those old rails and this new set yet. Alright, that's another correction to make. Oh wait, tank's right there. It's equipped to receive ammunition. It's an end user of bullets and wood. In you go. No, I wound up carrying some oil drums. You contain 400 empty barrels, train. What do you... Oh, right, you're still on manual. On your way. Alright, so now I just need to hook this into that. Even temporarily. Until I finish refitting all of those old rail into something more sensical. So to accomplish that, I could just, like, curve this out here. And then, if you want to make a rail that will automatically be seen as two-directional, all you need to do, well, the train seems to understand and be content with what I've given it. So what you do is, you take your signal, and you put matching sets of them on opposite sides. Like, exactly opposite. All these, like, you have these squares that are connected to each other. As long as they are right across from each other, the AI will understand that this means you can go either direction from here. And there we go, that'll serve as a temporary patch into the vintage oil rails. Which now means all of our oil pumps are being engaged. They're making full use of our goo. A resolution to the oil problem, and thus the plastic problem, the acid problem, the production problem. Chemistry. Industry. Yep. It's looking good. Looking good, feeling good, running good. Actually, there's a change I want to make to the battery machine here. Now that we have enough of it, now that we have the vital gunk, grab a scrap. Have space to sneak this in, not quite. Unless I instead sneak it in the opposite side. Yeah, there we go, that works. Let's just double it up. Also demonstrated here, blueprints remember that modules were in things, and so if you place a blueprint building, it will either have modules put in it or be sitting with a request to have modules installed someday, and the machinery will oblige. There, now we're starting to sizzle. Industry. High pressure sulfuric acid.